Phoenix and Diamond
My
are
ass-
back. Oh.
My ass is ready, Mom Spaghetti. I am ready to venture.
You cursed within the first minute of the recording! Ah!
Sorry. Well, you could mean the word for, like, a donkey.
Sure. We were totally talking about farm animals, YouTube. Anyway.
Yes, we were.
We're back for the second half of Vermis 2. I think where we left off, we were inside a dungeon, and there was another knight that cut off a monster's head.
Oh, yeah.
And
That guy.
yeah, so let's continue then. The knight falls down once more, blood sliding out of her dented helmet and onto the cobblestones. The Wayfarer draws near to inspect the body. The longsword is far too heavy for him to use, and the armor could fall apart at any moment. She is not carrying anything else of value. The Wayfarer keeps walking until he reaches the main gate. It is ajar, slipping past it. Just gonna ship me like Amazon through the door. He admires the majestic sequoia forest that he finds on the other side, a completely foreign environment to him. He quivers at the sound of dry leaves and branches under his feet. Wasting no time, the Wayfarer lets himself be swallowed by the forest entrails, amazed at the new world that opens up before him. I've noticed that Plastiboo really likes the word entrails, because he's used it several times to describe interiors of places.
I mean, it can be used that way.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's such a visceral word, and to use, like, yeah. I'm pretty sure this is the third time I've read in Vermis of it being used to describe an interior of someplace.
Yeah, you tend to normally hear more for, like, blood and viscera.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a very visceral word, which I think is good, but I am kind of like a little irking on it because I feel like it was a good punch the first time. I noticed it the second time, and the third time I'm like, okay.
And the third time it gets a little tiny bit.
Give me another word, please. Anyway, the Eclipse Towers. That kind of looks like the Thunder Plains. Anyways, I just flashed back to Final Fantasy X for some reason.
It also looks like that one world in VR chat.
Pillars? Yeah, maybe without the trees, yeah.
Yeah.
The Eclipse Towers are ancient consecrated monuments raised for the search of enlightenment. Since time immemorial, the towers have remained sealed, but it is known that devotees still dwell within them. Mantras can still be heard through the walls of some of them. Oh, there's people inside. All of them are shaped the same way, soaring chimneys that rise as high above as they sink beneath it. I bet that would have amazing echo. And then we see that tag at the beginning saying, you cannot pick any bones from this place. I guess it's because we are a bone hunter. So maybe that's just, like, maybe...
Or it could be a warning for any bone hunters that go in there.
I mean, I suppose if you wanted to be a dick, you could go in and kill the people and take their bones. But, you know...
I'm not gonna take bones, what the fuck? That's so
mean. That would be a lot of work.
Yeah, especially what you would have to do to process, like, the remains.
These look really cool.
Yeah, they do.
Cloisters of the Towers. Oh, are these the people inside? Abyssal devotee. Ooh. Devotees that left their humanity behind. They got lost during their journey toward illumination, their fragile minds consumed by madness. They have survived devouring the bodies of their fellow devotees and learned to move and even climb while in complete darkness. That's crazy.
That is crazy. That would be terrifying if it were skittering after you, like, skitter.
This motherfucker. Yeah. Seeker of light. They are deep in conscious lethargy, despite their bodies having been mummified by time. Their incessant mantras can still be heard. They are not a threat. That reminds me of, remember when we were kind of joking around with different stanzas being, like, stacked on each other the way dusts are? Where you have dust, and you have dust. This reminds me of when I created Dream, then Dream, which is
and
like...
triple dream.
And the triple dream. This reminds me of the triple dream. So, like, Dream was just, like, super, like, agreeable to everything, no matter the situation, no matter how terrible it was, just super agreeable all the time to, like, a detrimental amount. And then the Dream was just in constant, like this, like, exactly how it describes conscious lethargy, like, in constant meditation and complete bliss, like, never opening their eyes, like, yeah, like, that would be, like, a dream. Anyway.
Yeah, like a triple dream.
A triple dream. Yeah, that was a whole fun story we did, I remember. Because they fuck with evil-hearted, people being in its presence.
They fuck with those who have a lot of negativity, and, how I imagine dust is.
Yeah,
because is a form of negative energies.
Wasn't it like burning the dust to get too close to it? Because I think the Dawn Keepers kept the dream vaulted.
Yeah, it would fuck with Hal because he is covered in hate and he is a dust, and he would just explode with like hate pouring out of his mouth whenever he got near the double dream.
Chrysalid? Chrysalid devotee. Devotees that have found the knowledge that they sought and have been granted a superior form by it. Their bodies are slowly consumed to give birth to an illuminated being. Staying close to a chrysalid devotee drains sanity. So, there's an insanity risk here on both of these. Yeah. Awakened devotee. Devotees that have finally awoken, their bodies lose all function, and their minds open up as a means to expose the others to the wisdom of light. Their heads literally open up.
Yeah, their head opens up. That's not opening your mind. That's literally opening your entire cranium.
Looking directly into their light causes instant insanity. Yeah, so that's kind of like the actual effect of the dream.
Yeah.
Enlightened. The illuminated minds of these few devotees have abandoned their old bodies, leaving behind a mass of dry flesh and bones. They emit a constant high-pitched whistle that induces dizziness and nausea in those nearby, and are able to project images in people's minds. Touched by the light.
Also, the enlightened look like a whole bunch of nerves.
Why do I feel like I've seen this image different places before?
It looks kind of like a rock.
Yeah, it's like a face, but I feel like I've seen that outside of the context of Vermis before. Touched by the light. The very few devotees that are touched by the light lose their minds and beings and metamorphose into corpse-like spheres that float ominously and are only perceptible in the dark. Despite their disconcerting appearance, they are not a threat. They cannot be destroyed. Oh, they're just heads. That's weird.
Well, yeah, they're just corpse heads.
And ethereal freedom. The Wayfarer treads the forest as the sunset dyes the landscape amber. A worrying thought plagued his mind. He cannot stop recalling the image of his eye at the feet of the Sphinx. Oh yeah, like the eye fell out. Your eye fell out.
Oh yeah, because I ripped my eye out and gave it to the Sphinx.
No, what you did is you took the artificial eye and put it in the Sphinx, and that caused your literal eye to fall out of your skull.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really weird.
It's like, oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, it was like a form of sympathetic magic. It was weird. Or like a sympathetic curse almost. But it was just like, oh, but in exchange, you can see out the eyes of the Sphinx. And it's like, great, the Sphinx doesn't move. That doesn't help me.
The Sphinx does not become active. You cannot ask it 3 questions and it just smacks someone to death. No.
Wondering what would happen.
Or no, it doesn't ask you 3 questions.
Wondering what would happen if we were too close. If he were too close to his left eye again. He tries to do so, but his own body rejects the idea and refuses to go through with it. He cannot be sure if the Sphinx's influence would still be able to reach him, given that he is so far away from the accursed statue now. But the mere thought of going back to that somber place through the eyes of the idol and confirming that a part of him is still trapped there is terrifying enough for him to give up trying. With the light growing dim, the Wayfarer starts looking for a place to hole up for the night. The Hypogene Church? Striding through the forest thicket, the Wayfarer comes across a huge stone entrance that is born from the soil. Within verdant stone steps that melt into the darkness. He descends the stairs, hand against the green that grows on the walls.
Ooh,
Dew dampening his calloused palm. A pleasant aroma can be smelled here. By the time the Wayfarer reaches the bottom of the stairway, he can clearly hear chants in the distance. Oh. Worshippers of Ogle! Ogle's sight. Following the chanting, the Wayfarer reaches a large chamber full of scrawny, dark-robed people with their faces hidden under hoods. They all cease their song and turn toward him in complete silence. A strange creature rises from the back of the group. It's always funny, we always catch the cultists when they're doing shit. Never when the cultists are doing, like, communal things, like gardening and laundry.
Oh yeah, it's like we're always catching them when they're in like worship.
When they're in worship or they're doing some shit.
Yeah.
The abominable-looking effigy casts its unsettling gaze upon the Wayfarer. Then it emits a deafening cry, and the hooded figures charge towards him. Ogle's eye, a being born from Ogle's will to lead his followers. Cantor Acolyte.
It smells like some Syndrail shit.
This is... nah. Syndrail's cooler. Cantor Acolyte. They lack physical strength. Their only function is to take part in the rites of Ogle. Sorcerer Acolyte. Their spells temporarily blind or deafen their victims. Assassin Acolyte. Armed with smoke daggers, their attacks can pierce organs while leaving no external injury. That's cool. Martyr Acolyte. They stay close to the eye of Ogle, shielding the creature with their own bodies. Okay, which one am I supposed to go to first? I'll go to the top one. The Black Smoke. One of the figures gesticulates while murmuring some words and points at the Wayfarer. All of a sudden, the entire room falls silent. A barrage of cold, bony hands grab and scratch at his armor, denting it with unnatural strength. Overwhelmed, the Wayfarer struggles in vain to unsheath his sword, deaf even to his own screams. Grasping at a hidden dagger that he always keeps close at hand, the Wayfarer manages to stab one of the robed ones. The figure instantly dissolves into a dense cloud of black smoke and dissipates into the air. One by one, the acolytes fall before the Wayfarer. Individually, they would not be a match for him, but the sheer amount of them leaves him wounded and exhausted by the time that the battle is over. After the fray, only the monstrous beast remains, surrounded by the last of its servants. As he closes in, the last acolytes launch a desperate attack against the Wayfarer. The repulsive being observes as the cloaked ones vanish with each swing of the Wayfarer's sword. With the death of its last protector, the monster starts spinning frenetically in a way akin to a top. I'm sorry. They mean like a top as in a toy, and my brain instantly went to like the sex position as a top, and I was like, what?
Phoenix.
It took me a hot minute to realize they meant like a toy top and not a sexual top. I'm fine.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
My brain took a second to boot. I was like, that cannot be what they mean. They must mean something else. And was like, oh yeah, duh, the toy top.
Yeah, like a dreidel.
Yeah. The Wayfarer is taken aback, and the creature's body slams against him, violently striking him many times. He tries to block the attacks with the sword, but before he can think of a way to respond to the unusual onslaught, the brittle arms of his enemy snap, and the broken horrors fall to the floor. It lies immobile. Its unnerving eye stares into the Wayfarer's very soul for a few seconds before he sinks his blade into its head. The creature melts away immediately, leaving only bones behind. Oh, convenient, because I'm a bone hunter.
Or we're thinking that we're a bone hunter.
Well, we're collecting skulls, so chance of obtaining Ogul's vessel. Like, we've been collecting skulls throughout the story. Oh, that's,
that could be just like a
curse.
Yeah, it's curse.
Yeah, curse. The Wayfarer notices a strange skull-inlaid altar at the back of the room, covered in dark threads. Coming closer, a nauseating stench assaults him. I thought it smelled good down here.
Well, it smelled good when we first came in.
Yeah. It comes from a large cavity in the shrine. Being this close, the Wayfarer realizes that the strands are actually black hairs. They too spill out of the hollow.
Oh god, ew.
Huh?
Bruh, rotting hair.
Ugh. In it, he finds a sword of unusual appearance. The blade is completely wrapped in moldy bandages, dark hair peeking out of them, and the pommel is decorated with actual claws and nails. The Wayfarer picks up the sword. It feels warm and oily in his hand. Ah, no, fuck that.
No.
Leave it there. The cursed blade of Ogul.
Ugh.
That's not a blade, that's a douche.
That's not a blade, that's something else I cannot say.
The Caged Prince. In days of yore lived a devil among devils, he who dwelled in the rawest of darkness. His soul was sealed within an Orichal. Orichal.
Let me see the word. Orichalum.
Orichalum. Orichalum sword. I have no idea what that word is.
Oh, it's a type of metal.
Oh, is it? Orichalum sword.
Yeah. It's a type of metal that's usually used in like ornate like helms and such. Like getting a sword of that type of metal, ooh. Fancy.
It's not like the
Or no, Orichalum. I'm stupid.
What's the swirly looking metal that they Damascus iron, is that what it's called?
It's Damascus, and that's because it is made with an actual, like, part of an actual meteorite that fell in that region.
I thought it was just like a smelting technique that they weren't sure how it was made. Anyway.
No, it's not a...
Or an Orichalum sword. By a powerful wizard, he lost his life while trapping the fearsome beast. As years went by, the demon's prison progressively twisted into an unhinged shape. The ill-fated ones that were destined to guard the weapon swore that they could hear whispers coming from it. Those foolish enough to look into its naked blade collapsed in fear, some of them even dying from the sheer terror. No one has ever dared wield it in battle.
Yeah, orichalcum is 75 to 80% copper, 15% zinc, and a small amount of iron and lead.
Interesting.
It's a brass alloy.
The spectral recall. The tranquility of the night makes its way through the church's walls, accompanied by the chirps of the crickets and the whispers of the breeze. The Wayfarer allows himself to relax for a few seconds. Suddenly, a stringent noise barges in. Loud tolls echo through the empty chamber. The Wayfarer, scared and confused, tries to find their origin, yet his efforts prove futile. The knells do not stop, and if called by them, a mist begins to swallow the room. The Wayfarer, devastated, contemplates his foggy reflection. Within the darkness of the glass purgatory, he stands, staring at the water beads as they trickle their way down the mirror's surface, unable to keep going.
Ooh.
Vermis. Flesh of light and bones of glass. That's what it says backwards.
Flesh of light and bones of glass.
The mirror shatters. Huh?
I think we're in the final stretch of it.
We're still about like.
Oh, we're not in the final stretch of
This
it.
book is this.
We're about 2/3 done.
This book is also like thicker than the
Chonky.
original.
Yeah, it's chonky.
Yeah, so like it. I can see where you would expect that since we would be close to the end in the original, but this book is longer.
Yeah, it's got more contents in it.
Yeah. The mirror shatters into hundreds of pieces against the Wayfarer's fist, and then into many more as he stomps on them repeatedly. His hopes lie broken on the floor. Sitting in the corner of the room, he ponders. He checks under his armor only to find that the mark of the curse has spread over his shoulder. A grim reminder that his time wears thin. Finding no reason to continue, the Wayfarer remains on the corner until he falls asleep. So, I think he's got like a curse, kind of like the lady from, was it Hellblade? Sinuous Sacrifice, where she's got that weird thing growing on her arm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
The dream. The Wayfarer dreams about the unending sand plains of Argaret, and it is the 8th solstice. The clouds move at high speed up in the skies, and his mouth tastes like ash. In the distance atop a hill, the shadows observe him. They all stand still. The Wayfarer turns away from them and starts walking. After plowing his way through the sands for hours, the Wayfarer comes face to face with a large ruinous stone head sticking out of the sand. Covered in moss, it looks completely out of place in the scorching desert. Its mouth, big enough for someone to crawl in, is overrun with foliage. A pleasant breeze emanates from within.
Oh, that would be so nice in the desert environment.
Just magic air conditioner in the middle of the desert.
God, that would be so nice.
You're like, ah.
I just fucking passed the hell out, and I'm just like, yes.
The Wayfarer buries his head into the fragrant jasmine-scented greenery. The cold, soft leaves caress his face as his body sinks headfirst into the seemingly endless hole. Before him, he finds nothing but darkness. Not a menacing darkness, but a cozy one. There is someone in it.
Ooh.
Thy flesh doth not belong to thee.
Ew.
Oh, look! Hans!
Oh, hey! Hans!
Hans!
It's Hans!
Bed of brim.
Man, I'm looking rough.
Bed of brim and stone. The Wayfarer is awoken from his dream by the sound of a bell. Surrounded by mist, he stands up, glass fragments crunching under his feet. Under the purgatory's roof, it is impossible to distinguish minutes from hours, day from night, or reality from illusion. The Wayfarer's spirit cracked along with that mirror that night. His body now moves on its own like an empty shell. Where before the circular chamber was, now the Wayfarer finds instead an amalgam of corridors that extend, ramify, and cross each other like tree roots. As he erratically meanders through the hallways, he muses on his destiny. As to when it was sealed, he thinks about Galak, the dead son, and the stranger who carried the eye relic. The living amulet.
Ooh.
The Wayfarer transfers along a serpentine hallway. Transverses. I thought that was weird. Transverses along a serpentine hallway that narrows as he advances. Large convex glass ovals adorn the damp walls. He feels something moving in his pocket. The amulet he took from the fountain snake trembles violently, a dim light blinking within its gem. While inspecting it, the Wayfarer realizes that the light's intensity changes depending on the direction he points it toward.
Ooh.
With his hand raised, the Wayfarer moves the necklace around, trying to find the directions that makes it shine brighter. Then another light draws his attention. A small radiant orb glows just a few steps away from him. All of a sudden, from the shadows, materializes a sinister hand that starts gesturing over the sphere, and some incomprehensible words can be heard. The Wayfarer points the amulet towards the light globe.
Ooh. Also, that art.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh no!
Oh god,
My
no!
cheeseburger! No. The crumbling bones. One second. My chair's a little high. Let me come down a bit. Okay. The pendant emits a dazzling flash of light that illuminates even the deepest crevices of the hallway. A shrill scream can be heard within the light. Once he recovers his vision, the first thing the Wayfarer sees is a tall skeleton draped in dark clothes, in the process of collapsing. Its bones turn to dust the moment they hit the stone tiles. The pendant's light dwindles and then dies. The Wayfarer, baffled by the sheer power of the amulet, decides to wear it on his neck to keep it within hand's reach at all times. He approaches the dusty remains with caution. The ragged garments hide nothing of value except for a staff that clasps an orb of amber. It is warm to the touch. Holding the globe up to the light of his torch, the Wayfarer finds an insect preserved within it.
Ooh.
Chance of obtaining amber staff.
It's like the mosquito trapped in amber.
Yeah. The Wayfarer continues on his way until he comes across an intense light pouring out of a doorway in one of the corridor sides. Entering the light, he finds a room lined with polished green tiles. Not wanting to face his reflection again, the Wayfarer is about to turn around to leave when his gaze lands on a grand stone ark that is borne among the tiles. It looks like it does not belong in this place. Their path must be walked.
Ooh.
The mirrors dance. The Wayfarer invades a great chamber full of mirrors. Its floor is as reflective as the surface of a calm lake frozen in time. The room is bathed in crepuscular light. Crepuscular light. The dust floats motionless, visible in the air. An ominous figure slowly emerges from the floor before the Wayfarer. Floating in the air, the apparition levitates a glass shard between its hands. The mirror piece tilts and turns until it focuses on the Wayfarer. At that moment, every mirror in the chamber turns toward him as well. The Wayfarer draws his sword and stares into the hollow eyes of his foe with determination burning in his own. Stay determined! Not for an instant does he allow his gaze to drift to the mirrors. The Mirror Master. There's an insanity. We never got a chart on what these other things mean, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
As soon as the Wayfarer takes a step towards the cloaked right, it gestures around the shard with both hands, and the mirror piece starts rotating in several directions at once. Following the shard's motions, the entire room leans abruptly, making the Wayfarer lose his footing immediately. He falls into the ceiling and the wall, smashing several mirrors on his way. The glass fragments find their way into the Wayfarer's armor and slice his skin as he tries to recover. The chamber suddenly stops, staying upside down, allowing the Wayfarer to stand up. The figure dissolves within a mirror and reappears out of a distant one. The shard starts spinning once more. Hurt and exhausted, the Wayfarer braces himself, but to his surprise, the room remains still. Instead, all the unshattered mirrors turn to face him once again, casting a blinding light upon him. I drink my coffee.
Yum.
Yum.
Laugh.
Once his sight returns, the Wayfarer finds himself completely surrounded by a myriad of identical wraiths, ceaselessly spinning around him. His legs give out at a moment, and he almost falls to the floor, out of breath. He knows he could faint at any moment. The Wayfarer flings his sword towards the specters in a last-ditch effort to stop their maddening dance. The blade plunges into one of the many figures, shattering it. The rest of them scatter, disappearing almost instantly. A glass piece falls to the floor. The Wayfarer is left surrounded by floating mirrors. One of them lies broken in front of him. With little strength left, the Wayfarer clumsily runs towards his sword and almost falls on it. With his hand almost touching the hilt, the Wayfarer hears a sinister whisper behind him. "Look." He turns around, eyes closed, and as he does so, he clutches the grip of his sword and delivers a wide swing with it toward the direction the voice came from. A faint sound of glass cracking. The Wayfarer hesitates and then opens his eyes. Before him on the floor lies the figure. Next to it, the severed hand and the mirror piece it was holding, broken. Chance of
we
obtaining.
just cut a dude's hand off.
Yeah. Chance of obtaining Master Bones. This is like the skull here, and then like the fucking head, like cranium is crazy.
Oh god, yeah.
Or Shattered Master Mirror. Inner Purgatory. The Silver Road. The air is dense and brine hides the floor. On the walls, hideous statuettes carrying small mirrors keep the darkness at bay with everlasting candles. The inner purgatory is composed of a ground tunnel that spirals downward into the lowest level of the purgatory, and many chambers that can be found among its span. Its curving nature is masked by its vast length. Whenever the bell tolls, the walls of the inner purgatory tremble, and the fog rises until it covers everything, hindering the vision of those who are traversing the hallway. Yeah. Fear and restless souls that haunt the inner purgatory. Denizens of the descent. That thing looks wild.
Ooh.
Demented bones. A staggering three-headed beast that wields an immense morning star covered with rotten remains. Each one of its heads has a mind of its own. Whenever one of its heads notices the presence of a possible intruder, it takes control of the body to seek them and crush them down. This strategy does not always work in its favor. It is currently trapped in one of the many rooms of the inner purgatory.
I just hope we don't go near that room.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Let's not.
The living iron, forged from the iron of hundreds of magical weapons. The strange knight guards the gates of the chamber of the silent blades. Even though it lacks a will of its own, it possesses devastating strength, and no weapon is capable of denting its ferrous body?
Ferris.
Ferrous body?
Ferris. Yeah. Meaning it's iron.
Gotcha. The Mist Phantom. With the knell of the bell, a blade rises from the brine. The echo of a great warrior seeks out those who dare enter the inner purgatory in order to grant them the same fate he once suffered. The specter only appears when the fog is at its zenith. It's funny that these are like shaped like trading cards. All of a sudden.
Yeah, and the backs are also like trading cards.
Yeah. Bellborn. Gargoyles that defend the Great Bell Tower. They camouflage among their inert kin while climbing the tower's walls, waiting for the best moment to strike. If they cannot execute an ambush, they gather in small groups in order to overwhelm their victims. Their bites can cause petrification. There's the petrification symbol.
Ooh.
Tormented One. What?
I forgot if we encountered that or not, but we have.
We've encountered goblins in the first one, but not.
Well, we encountered
gargoyles.
somebody who had petrification happen to them.
Yeah, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, that one night that was half petrified.
Yeah.
The Tormented One. The twisted and defiled body of a once venerated knight filled with straw and sticks. It stands upright, immobile, inducing a deep malaise in those it lies eyes upon. It changes locations when it is not being looked at. That's the Silent Hill 3 soundtrack. That's not what we want. Go back.
This message is brought to you
by
if you want like something to loop,
like the iPhone is thought
right click the video and go to loop.
Okay, thank you.
There you go. Yeah, no problem.
Anyway. Vermis. There's some words here. Mist and Mirrors Edition. Says up there.
Yeah. Oh, hey, the Wayfarer. Or it looks like him.
He's a little fucked up in that one.
Yeah.
That looks like a real photo almost.
Yeah, that's a little loopy.
The Wayfarer pushes forward through the tunnel without respite, crossing the haze as the view in front of him repeats in an endless cycle. Eventually he comes across an opening unlike the others, for a bright light emerges from within it. When he reaches the entrance, he is amazed to find a tiny verdant grotto bathed in gentle light. In the center of the haven, surrounded by moss, rests a small pond.
Oh, yeah.
I just hit my mic. The Wayfarer leans into the cave. Minuscule droplets of water fall on his helmet. He looks up, puzzled, and discovers that the grotto extends upward as far as he can see. Under the light drizzle, he approaches the pool to slake his thirst?
Yeah. Basically quenching.
There's so many words here that I've never seen or never seen used.
Yeah, verdant just means green.
Oh. The liquid mirror.
Just like the green on the page.
As his hand reaches for the pond, the Wayfarer notices that the liquid is not water at all. It is opaque and metallic. He stares at his wavy reflection for a moment, then takes a step back and sits next to it. Close to the miracle pool stands a statue of a woman. Her facial features are eroded beyond recognition, and her eyes are two small mirrors. That looks crazy.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, wait. In that unusual corner under the gaze of the statue, the Wayfarer feels strangely at ease. He makes himself comfortable on the soft moss. Okay, so looking at the way the room is shaped, And then if her eyes are mirrors and she has pupils, I bet this is being reflected in the eyes to make pupils.
Ooh.
His eyes sink into the dewy green mantle, but he cannot feel a thing against his right hand. Confused, the Wayfarer examines his hand and is horrified to discover that the curse has hardened his fingers and left them bony. He loses no time taking off his armor to check his condition. The flesh-eating relics. Observing his reflection in the pool, the Wayfarer contemplates the devastating consequences of the curse, the punishment for his greed. The amaranthine marks had begun engulfing his face, his arm now entirely consumed by the curse. It is completely decrepit. He runs his fingers over the right side of his face, yet he does not feel them against it.
Ooh.
The Wayfarer feels powerless in the face of adversity, so he decides to lie down in the moss and let the hours fly by. Eventually, the comforting atmosphere of the room manages to calm his torment. His preoccupations are wasted away by the gentle rain, and his fears dissolve into the soft mantle. With his gaze lost in the urgent ripples of the pond, his eyelids grow heavy.
I don't think we've had much sleep.
We slept that one time after freaking out.
Yeah. But that wasn't a very restful sleep.
Yeah. Vermis, the fall of Ogle. All demons were gods once. It is the man who puts crowns on our heads and holds axes over our necks. That's weird. The nightmare. The Wayfarer dreams about a familiar place. He is at the sanctuary of the snake, just outside the chamber of offerings. However, his surroundings are not exactly as he remembers them. The room is enveloped in gloom. A nauseating stench pervades the air, and the floor is flooded with blood. Oh. A noise comes from the other side of the archway. Ahead, the distinctive sounds of flesh being torn and bone being broken. The Wayfarer stands walking forward, unable to control his body. Oh.
Yeah.
Someone is piling up skulls, but stops as soon as the Wayfarer crosses the threshold. The man slowly turns around to reveal his cleaved neck, his head still hanging from a strip of flesh. The creature raises its hand, pointing at the Wayfarer. He feels a sudden coldness slice through his neck. His vision blurs for an instant, then tilts. Vertigo washes over him as his head falls to the floor. Ugh.
Okay. So we just got decapitated.
It's a nightmare, it's a dream, it's not real. We were asleep. Nightmare. Daughter of the Crystal Forest.
Ooh.
A frozen corpse hides within the mountains. Her humanity was lost long ago, yet her duty remains. Our promise of protecting her holy land has kept her cold bones wandering through the snow.
And then Vermis.
The Wayfarer awakens from his slumber, agitated and disoriented. The grotto is now dimly lit, and past the arch only darkness can be seen. The light rain has died, and everything is shrouded in an eerie silence. He hears bare footsteps coming from beyond the entrance, fast approaching. Losing no time, the Wayfarer stands up and grips his sword, his eyes fixated on the archway. The footsteps stop abruptly. He stares into the pitch-black unknown, terrified. From the shadows, a cavernous voice calls the Wayfarer's name. It talks slowly, struggling with each word, as if it had never spoken before. I have a tongue black as coal. I have a crown made of bones. I will tear off your skin. I will feast on your entrails. Original. I will gnaw each bone. Nothing will be left, not even your soul. See the little guy right there.
Yeah, you're a little spooky man, aren't you?
The spooky man.
Little spooky man's gonna die.
The long wait. The words coming from the void bore into his ears and make his heart beat faster. That bellowed name resonates in his head. He finds it strangely familiar. So much time has gone by since the last time the Wayfarer's name had been spoken that it had fallen on into oblivion. But the moment he realizes to whom that name belongs, he freezes in terror. His legs give out. Wait, what name?
What name?
What name? Oh, it calls the Wayfarer's name. We just didn't... It doesn't actually say what his name is to us, the reader.
Damn! Wish I knew my name! That'd be cool!
You put it in the character screen. Whatever.
Damn it!
As the hours go by, the Wayfarer remains immobile, his blade pointed towards the darkness, waiting for the voice to reveal itself, but nothing happens. You know, that would be putting yourself in a dangerous position. Like, let me just make myself prone. That's smart.
Well, his legs gave out. He didn't mean to
Oh,
make himself
did
like
he?
that.
Oh, okay.
His legs gave out because of his name being said.
Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the candles outside the room revive. There was nothing waiting outside. Wearily, the Wayfarer stands up, ready to continue. Excuse me. The Wayfarer marches forward tirelessly, crossing a sea of fog and clashing his blade against fearsome opponents. Many are the times he falls, but he always rises back up, for the path must be walked.
Yeah.
The blind walk. Among knells, the Wayfarer walks, tightly gripping his sword. He never stops, even though he cannot see past his helmet. He can feel it in his guts. He is getting close to something. He hears the toll growing louder, vibrations ripple through his body. With each of them, once downhearted footsteps have now turned into a hopeful march. Having been witness to the ever-changing nature of the purgatory, he is now sure that, unlike before, he is about to reach a place of significance. The knells stop, and the thick fog begins dissipating ever so slowly. The tunnel falls silently before the Wayfarer's footsteps once again. Suddenly he bumps into something and almost loses his balance. After seemingly eternally walking in the same direction, the Wayfarer thinks that he has finally reached the end of the corridor. He reaches forward with his hand, stone, a wall maybe. He feels it in search of a door, trusting that venturing deeper into the purgatory is the key to escaping from it. When the fog clears enough to reveal a hooded figure. A large statue stands before him, holding a scepter and a glass shard. His face is horribly disfigured. Once the brine is completely gone, the Wayfarer finds himself in an overly embellished circular chamber surrounded by strange statues. Noticing an exit on the far side of the room, he rushes toward it.
Oh, let's get her. Oh, the last looking glass.
The last looking glass, guardian of the great bell tower. Mirror of truth. The Wayfarer averts his gaze from the dark mirror, eyes tightly shut not to get trapped in its glass. Ever since he was expelled from the last mirror, he has been avoiding looking at them, for he is convinced that they reflect nothing but lies. They try to instill fear and bewilderment in those who set eyes upon their surfaces. Back in that tiny room, his hopes shattered with the glass. He felt his freedom slipping away between his fingers, taken away from him, yet his despair turned into resolve to truly escape his ordeal. He defied the fate set upon him by this accursed place. After making sure that there is no way out of the chamber, the Wayfarer musters up his courage and faces the mirror. As soon as he stares at the looking glass, he realizes that it is not a mirror his surroundings at all. In the reflection, he stands alone amid darkness. He contemplates his glassy self, ready to confront whatever comes next, fearless, yet this time he does not find anything disconcerting or eerie in his image. He only sees himself.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Is that your cat, or you were commenting on the reflection?
Commenting on the reflection. Buddy is not down here.
I was like, is that your cat, buddy? Oh. That's
it's not my
that's
cat.
unsettling. With the eyes wide
That
like
is
that.
unsettling.
Oh. So I saw a short the other day, and it was a psychologist, and she's all like, so if you're ever out somewhere and you notice you're being stalked by someone, she's like, try doing this. You know, you stop, turn to the person who's stalking you, square your shoulders, and widen your eyes, just like this. And she's like, what it does is it's a signifying of, like, insanity, and it's, like, really fucking scary.
Oh my god. The terrible thing is I do that a lot in real life already.
The Wayfarer
because I don't like people near me.
Yeah. The Wayfarer touches the mirror. Against his fingers, the cold glass starts rippling. He slowly sinks his hand in, then his forearm, as if it were no more than water. He feels a breeze on the other side. After pulling his arm out of the dark surface, the Wayfarer makes sure that there is nothing wrong with it. Then he holds his breath and crosses the mirror.
Man, that psychologist's trick would have saved the gremlin from, like, their junior year of high school.
Damn. I mean, I was one of the kids that, like, if somebody was doing something I didn't like and they didn't stop doing it, that I would just scream like a pterodactyl.
Oh, like, when I was in high school, I was a gremlin. I was a gremlin critter. I was, short. But, like, I was actually stalked by somebody in my high school. It was a freshman who was weirdly into me. And, like, I basically got on all fours and ran at them like a goddamn, like, feral animal.
Yeah, like, mine is just like, I don't care what people think of me. If, like, I want you to leave me alone, I will make you think I'm the most horrifying thing ever.
Oh, I ended up making that stalker actually, like, fucking terrified. And think that they actually murdered some, like, creature in their room.
Stupefied by the landscape that opens up before him, the Wayfarer feels that he has crossed a gate into another world. Amid an ever-present sea of fog, an imposing lugubrious tower looms over everything. Its terrifying presence akin to that of a slumbering giant whose awakening seems utterly inevitable. A cold dampness hangs in the air, and an untraceable zephyr dances in the broom. The broom? I don't know what that fucking word is. It's been used several times.
Yeah. It's a weird.
Just say the fucking fog! I know what it means. It means the fog. Just say the fucking fog! Anyway, walking the misty dunes towards the stone behemoth, the Wayfarer stumbles across a grim scene. Massacre amid
Damn.
What?
The art.
It's a headless bitch.
Oh, that's also good art.
No. The fog flows.
I was commenting on the art before.
This kind of reminds me of that Sleep Token song with the hand sticking out in the artwork out of the sand. Massacre amid the waves. The fog flows around dozens of small stone-like decapitated bodies, some of them dismembered. They look almost human. Realizing he's not alone, the Wayfarer glances around but sees nothing lurking in the fog. Voiding the bodies, he soon leaves them behind with one disturbing thought lingering in his mind. Their heads, they were nowhere to be found. Bitch, you've been taking heads left and right. Just calm down.
Well, the thing is, it's different because he's been taking skulls, not literal actual heads.
Okay, but some of them... I don't know, I'd have to think back. Some of them... Anyway.
Some of them, a lot of them were skulls.
Like, am I supposed to think it's like video gamey logic where it's just like... Slate, boss monster, skull! Or did he like actually skin the skin off the skulls and empty them, you know? I don't know.
Well, if we're going at this like a video game, I would imagine that there's video game logic.
Video game logic. Da-na-na-na.
Da-na-na-na.
Na-na-na-na. Skull. A shiver runs down the Wayfarer's spine when he reaches the maws of the tower. Utter darkness awaits him beyond. Specks of fire from his torch float down into the darkness as he ascends the ruinous staircase, with the ever-growing abyss always a couple steps away. His heart races every time he has to circumvent a gap, for he knows that his next step could very well be his last. Stairs!
Oh, damn. Stairs with gaps.
It's time for some platforming.
It kind of reminds me of the never-ending staircase in fucking Code Vein.
The walls tremble around him and the stone debris falls from the stairs above as metallic wails echo in the distance. Then the strident knell of the bell arrives, rumbling like thunder. A piercing pain assaults the Wayfarer's ears, and disturbing image is burned into his retina. Oh. It's him with his eyes glowing in that room with the skeletons that all had their eyes glowing.
Oh god.
The Wayfarer quickly comes back to his senses, then when a strong gust of wind carrying debris hits him, making him lose his balance and snuffing out his torch. He clings to the steps for dear life as the wind blasts come one after another, threatening to throw him into the void. They stop after the last toll of the bell. The Wayfarer takes out the amber staff to light his way. The bell knells now and again. Its deafening sounds are always accompanied by the fierce winds. The higher he ascends, the harder it comes to fight against their strikes. Every time he hears the bell prelude, he lies down and clutches onto the stairs with all his might. His ears ring and his legs keep giving out, yet nothing seems to break the Wayfarer's will. Despite not being able to see the end of his torturous journey, he keeps moving forward. The Bell's Passage. As he approaches the tower's zenith, the Wayfarer notices that the bell is about to strike once again. This time, however, the winds bring with them a light drizzle and a familiar smell, the smell of death. Once the wind stops, he looks down at his garments and confirms his suspicions. Blood. All of a sudden, a decapitated body falls from above, smashing against the steps in front of the Wayfarer and making him jump. Just very unceremonious body.
Oh, well.
Moving closer, he realizes that the corpse seems to be imbued with darkness. Even with the staff casting its light on it, it remains dim. The bell's insistent clamors have stopped by the time the Wayfarer reaches the last steps of the stairway, but a strange noise can now be heard instead. The sounds of flesh tearing and bones cracking, they seem so familiar. With his heart beating faster and faster, he arrives at the belfry.
Oh, he arrives at the belfry.
Belfry. A godless servant, longing for what he sacrificed. The Wayfarer's heart skips a beat when he stumbles upon a macabre scene right out of his nightmares. A creature of purple skin crouches in a pile of massacred bodies, clutching one of their heads in his bony hands. The corpse's wounds are brutal, as if they had fought a beast. The air is thick with the smell of blood. The Wayfarer's hand trembles ever so slightly as he reaches for his sword. The creature rises, revealing the extent of its injuries. Muscle, tissue, and bones poke out of its severed neck, and yet it stands. The Wayfarer is shocked to discover that the head that the creature holds is his own. His lifeless visage stares at him as the creature lifts it over its shoulders and places it on its neck. The head stays in place for a few seconds before falling to the floor and rolling towards the Wayfarer's feet. The familiar iron. The Wayfarer stares at the helmeted head scattered across the floor and feels a knot in his stomach. Their unsettling features are familiar to him. They're the metallic faces that plagued his nightmares and infused fear in his bones. He is still stupefied at the eerie scene when the headless being turns towards him and picks up a long and rusty sword from the floor. The Wayfarer reacts once he notices the creature rushing towards him. The monster moves erratically and its attacks are weak and predictable. When it raises its sword to strike the blow, the Wayfarer takes the chance to stab the torso. The creature does not even flinch. It even let the sword sink deeper as it desperately tries to grab the Wayfarer's head. Its mauve leathery fingers lock around his throat, and the Wayfarer struggles trying to move away from the abomination. Even though it lacks the strength to strangle him, its touch disturbs him greatly. The purple skin. The scrawny body drops its sword and gets a hold of the Wayfarer's head with both hands, twisting and pulling on it with all its might. The Wayfarer is sickened by the repulsive sight of that drawn being. Its lumpy skin is covered with wounds and stuck to its bones. It does not bleed or seem to feel pain, yet the veins pulse as if it were alive. The Wayfarer lets go of his sword and pushes the monster to the floor. As it lies inert, he moves closer and grips his weapon to remove it from the body. But suddenly, the restless creature grabs the blade. The Wayfarer pulls as hard as he can, slicing off one of the skinny hands. After stepping back to a safe distance, the Wayfarer stares at the pathetic being. The longer he observes it, the more he sees the crude reality.
Oh God.
This broken body is none but my own.
Oh.
Rebirth. A gentle breeze blows. Pearly rivers of mist flow throughout the sky. A dark will slowly vanish. A dark will slowly vanishes in silence. What the fuck is that sentence?
A dark will.
A dark will. Okay, gotcha. The will is the noun.
Yes.
I was reading will as a verb, so I was just like, a dark will. I was like, what? No, will is the noun. Okay.
Yeah.
The mauve that taunts his butchered body dissipates into nothingness. He feels the beating of his heart. Relief, coldness, pain. His many wounds start bleeding from his wrist, but from his wrist flows a stream of red. The Wayfarer falls to the floor. Kneeling in a puddle of blood, the Wayfarer stares at the body he has left behind, without a head, but it is an armor. The crimson reflection. The Wayfarer looks down and peers at his scarlet self. A sincere face stares back at him. This is just me. What's the Undertale?
It's just you.
Despite everything,
Despite everything, it's just you.
Despite everything, it's just you. A single toll. An illusion shatters, a man awakens. He contemplates his reflection, withered before the mirror that started it all. So he's back in that room with all the skeletons.
Oh yeah, so we weren't actually dead.
Yeah, we didn't actually go through half that adventure.
That's fucky.
Disoriented, he stares with both eyes at his starved visage. His lips are cracked, his eyes sunken, and his skin grayish and dry. He barely has the strength to lift his numb arms off the floor. They feel as heavy as if they were made of stone. Where before was the mark of the curse, there is not even a vestige of its existence. His many mortal wounds are equally gone. He bathes in the serenity of that remote place, feeling unburdened. The toll of the bell still resonates in his head. The man closes his eyes, sinking into his thoughts. There are no gods, no monsters, no shadows, no mirrors, only warm darkness.
Pretty hard.
The path has been walked. Daughter of Ash, the vessel, the host of the Forbidden Blade, the Pale Sun Knight, the Lore Keeper of Noom, the Parasite Mage. The path has been walked, now travel theirs. The Vengeful Soul, the Broken Heart. So, maybe this is an allusion to other stories in Vermis.
Ooh.
The Daughter of Ash. The daughters of Voika Forest were raised to be one with the nature that surrounded them. Such was their harmony with the forest that most of them transcended their humanity. The remorse of having failed to protect her home when it needed her the most still gnaws at her conscience. I am but a coward, she repeats to herself over and over again.
So sad.
Tear of Voika. The last flower of Voika Forest, the life force of its carrier prevents it from wilting. In return, it only offers her melancholic memories.
Melancholic?
Melancholic,
maybe?
yeah. Murgo's seed, a seed from her god capable of growing an entire forest within months. Mind, will, faith, and strength. There's tiny little dots here to indicate how much they have of that.
Yeah.
The vessel. Every time that body of the Arger died, his followers transferred his soul into a newborn through a ritual, turning them into the new vessel of the Arger. Sharing their vitality with another soul put a great stain on the vessel's body, slowly withering them. Although the young man was destined to preach the Arger's visions to his people, he decided to run away and make his own path. Visage of the Arger. The visage of the Arger had to be worn by the vessels, as if it were their own skin. Soul of the Arger. After consuming a piece of Marco's flesh, the Arger received the gift of prophecy and started his own cult. Even though his body died long ago, he lives. Mind, will, soul. Mind, will, faith, strength. The host of the Forbidden Blade. For generations, the custodians of the sword have devoted their lives to guard the infamous blade that imprisons the evil one. Oh, we had a message, that Ogle thing.
Yeah.
However, in the end, they could not prevent the foul relic from being stolen by those who wish to liberate the beast. After covering... I know these are bodies, but my brain keeps registering them as coffee beans.
My brain just kept registering them as rocks.
Foul relic from being stolen by those who wish to liberate the beast. After recovering the sword, the foolish custodian submitted to its tempting whispers, which promised a life of glory and power. Ogle the Cursed Blade. The blade is now an extension of himself. It bleeds and pulses like his own flesh, constantly trying to exert its will of the custodians. Yeah, that's why I thought we don't touch it. Don't touch it. It's gross.
Nasty.
It's nasty. It's nasty.
Fucking gross.
Broken oath, a damaged emblem, a symbol of his conviction. If it were to be lost, his mind and body would surrender completely to the blade.
Oh god.
The Pale Sun Knight. Covered with prickly arbors, the faithful servants of the undying sun strike fear among the blasphemous and blindly obey the will of the solar deacons. Staring at the heretics whose newborn was taken to execute, the knight found himself split between his duty and his morals. For the first time, he questioned his previous acts and the holiness of the deacons.
Ooh.
Blade of Solstice. A holy weapon used to punish those who act against the undying sun. Its virtuous blade must be cleaned after each execution.
I mean, you should always clean your sword after you kill something, because if you do not, the blood on the blade will actually dull it.
Yeah. The Lore Keeper of Noom. The Library of Noom holds the largest trove of information in the known world. Years of careful gathering and cataloging have been spent in order to build this hope for the future of mankind. Few are the tomes and scrolls in Noom that the Lore Keepers have not memorized yet. When he came across that codex of dark writings, he instantly knew that he was holding a weapon of immeasurable power. His 3 questing brothers wanted to take the book back to the library, for every tome is sacred. But he knew that every trace of those vile inscriptions had to be erased from existence, even if that meant ending his brothers' lives, since they had already memorized part of the book.
Ooh,
Library Light. Yeah, Library Light. A staff carried by the Lore Keepers, it can be used to cast spells, but due to the non-violent nature of their wielders, they are mainly used for reading in the dark.
Oh man. The Lore Keepers kind of remind me of, oh god, I remember it. One had drawn like
I think your internet's cutting out.
my internet had exploded.
Yeah. What was your story?
Really exploded.
Oh, his internet keeps exploding. Da 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 da.
My internet kept exploding, but the Lore Keepers reminded me of the Pathfinder swap sands. That is like a thing someone created.
Oh yeah.
And what he would do is walk around with his massive lantern, like a big lantern.
Oh
on a
yeah.
pole. And he would guide those who were looking for something to what they were looking for.
Uh-huh. I remember that character, yeah.
I loved it. It's so fucking cool.
What's his creator's name?
Angsty Hicka?
Angsty Hicka. Yeah, that's right. I adore this. A well-polished sheet of translucent magic gemstone. If it is held against a piece of text, the reader will see said text in their mother tongue. Oh, that's fucking cool!
That is cool!
I need one of those!
So you can read all of my Welsh in your native tongue.
No, that would be cool to have, like, an external device like that. Where, like, you could
it
just
would.
set it to one language and set it to another, and then, like, you could, like, roll it across the page and it would, like, read it and then, like, translate it for you.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that one pen that will, like, take color from, like, something you touch the pen to, and then, like, let you draw in that color.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That's so fucking cool. That's so banger. I wish it existed fully.
Parasitic mages slither among shadows, feeding on snails and slugs. Toriel?
I don't think that's Toriel.
I don't think that's Toriel. Longing for a life of ostentatious luxuries and comfort, As soon as they lay their slimy hands on a life they desire, they do not hesitate to take it for themselves. They strike at the perfect moment and supplement the individual, no matter if they're an infant, a maiden, or a duke. Some of them have lived the life of a person from cradle to grave without ever being discovered before moving on to their next life. Oh, so they like infect a body? Is that what I'm getting?
Yes. They're like the actual iteration of a parasite.
Crazy. Okay. Liar's scepter. A fragile mother of pearl scepter. Ooh, mother of pearl. Scepter used by parasitic mages to change their shape. If it is lost, a new one can be made within a few months. Dreamer's Dew. A shell containing a powerful slumbering poison used before taking over a victim's appearance. Oh, okay. I love how like they only have one dot in each category and nothing else.
Yeah. They're literally parasitic.
The Vengeful Soul. A queen ill with white hives gave birth to her second son. While her firstborn was a healthy boy full of life, the younger of the two was weak, scrawny, and constantly afflicted by illnesses. He grew up with a blood-boiling hatred for his brother. The day that his brother was crowned king, the prince sneaked into his bedchamber and tried to murder him. However, it was the older brother, the one who accidentally ended the covetous prince's life. Such was the fury of the fallen prince that he came back from the dead with an insatiable thirst for vengeance. Okay, I have questions because... why is the sword stabbing him through the back? Shouldn't it be stabbing him through the front?
The older brother probably like went behind and did it.
Did he know he was coming? Maybe?
Probably dodged him.
Dodge out of the bed. Anyway. Royal sword.
Wiggles out of the bed. Whap.
Royal sword, an opulent sword belonging to his brother, worthy of being wielded only by a king. Accursed flesh. The child of a woman afflicted with the white hives receives the blessing of Kedareth, god of wrath and putrefaction. Minds, very strong will, no faith, pretty good strength.
Oh, the broken heart. Oh.
The broken heart. The light of this beloved dwindling with each day that passed. After hearing of a mysterious fountain whose waters were capable of curing all ills, he traveled to the remotest places in search of a cure, devoting his life to his quest, never losing hope. Yet by the time he came back victorious in his mission, it was too late. So devastated was the loss that had led him to madness.
Oh.
Last hope. It heals its wearer of any affliction and can emit a bright light that obliterates evil. It has enough magic left for one last use. Opal kiss, a ring from his beloved, and envelops him in a soft warmth. And that's it.
And that's the book.
That's the book.
We hope you enjoyed.
Who stares back from the dark glass?
Ooh.
Yep. And next we're gonna do God Husk, so we'll be back for that.
Yeah.